Hey everyone, and welcome to our channel, where today we're diving into the intriguing question of whether life can arise from non-living matter. You might have heard about the famous Primordial Soup Hypothesis. It's this idea that life on Earth emerged from a rich broth of organic molecules. But here's the kicker. According to this hypothesis, those organic molecules just happen to assemble themselves into living cells. No outside help, no divine intervention, just pure chance. Does this sound a bit too good to be true? Well, there's more to the story. Let's break it down. First up, let's define what we mean by life. For simplicity, let's stick with cells, the fundamental units of all known life. Cells are incredibly complex structures. They contain intricate components like proteins, lipids, nucleic acids, and carbohydrates. All these components work together to maintain the cell's internal environment, allowing it to reproduce, adapt, and respond to its surroundings. So how does this complexity arise from non-living matter? How did the first cells form? Scientists theorize that it occurred through a process called abiogenesis. The term abiogenesis is derived from the Greek words abios, meaning without life, and genesis, meaning origin or birth. So put simply, abiogenesis is the process where non-living matter spontaneously transforms into living organisms, the stepping stone from inert to alive. Now let's talk about one of the most significant experiments in the study of abiogenesis, the Miller-Urey Experiment. In 1952, two scientists, Stanley Miller and Harold Urey, conducted a groundbreaking experiment that simulated the conditions of early Earth. Their goal was to see if organic molecules, the building blocks of life, could form from inorganic matter under conditions mimicking early Earth. The experiment consisted of placing various inorganic chemicals, such as methane, ammonia, hydrogen, and water vapor, into a sterile container. The mixture was then subjected to electric sparks meant to simulate lightning. After several days, the researchers analyzed the contents of the container and found that some of the inorganic compounds had transformed into organic ones, specifically amino acids, which are the building blocks of proteins. This experiment provided the first evidence that complex organic molecules, which are essential for life as we know it, could arise from simpler inorganic compounds under conditions similar to those on early Earth. The significance of the Miller-Urey experiment cannot be overstated. It lent strong support to the idea that life on Earth could have arisen from non-living matter through a process like the one they had simulated. It opened up new avenues of research and inspired scientists to explore the origins of life on Earth in greater detail. However, it's important to note that while the experiment showed that amino acids could form under these conditions, it did not recreate the entire process of abiogenesis. It was just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. To better understand how life might have arisen from non-living matter, scientists have built upon the Miller-Urey experiment and explored other possible scenarios. One such scenario is known as the RNA World Hypothesis. This hypothesis proposes that RNA rather than DNA was the primary genetic material in early life forms. RNA has several key properties that make it appealing as the candidate for the first genetic material. First, RNA can store genetic information like DNA. Second, it can also catalyze biochemical reactions like proteins. This dual functionality makes RNA a strong candidate for the first self-replicating molecule. Several lines of evidence support the RNA World Hypothesis. For example, all living cells on Earth today use RNA as an essential component of their genetic machinery. Additionally, scientists have discovered RNA-like molecules in meteorites, which suggest that RNA may have been present on early Earth. Based on these findings, scientists have attempted to recreate the formation of RNA-like molecules under conditions similar to those of early Earth. While the results have been promising, scientists have yet to successfully create RNA polymers with the necessary complexity to support life. Another line of research focuses on understanding the origin of cellular structures. One crucial aspect of abiogenesis is the formation of membranes, which are essential for compartmentalizing biological processes. Scientists have explored various mechanisms for membrane formation, including the so-called coacervate droplets. These droplets form when certain molecules spontaneously assemble into a membrane-like structure. Studies have shown that these coacervate droplets can encapsulate molecules and even exhibit some characteristics of cell membranes. Overall, while scientists have made significant progress in understanding the possible pathways for abiogenesis, the exact mechanism by which life arose from non-living matter remains unknown. The scientific community continues to explore various hypotheses and conduct experiments to shed light on this fundamental question. Now let's talk about the primordial soup theory. This theory was proposed by Russian chemist Alexander Oparin and British scientist J.B.S. Haldane independently in the 1920s. The primordial soup theory, also known as the Oparin-Haldane hypothesis, is a model for the origin of life on Earth. It proposes that life arose from a process called abiogenesis, in a series of stages driven by chemical evolution. Here's a breakdown of the key concepts. Early Earth's atmosphere and oceans were rich in organic molecules, including amino acids, nucleotides, and simple sugars. These molecules formed a sort of primordial soup. The energy for this process came from various sources like volcanic activity, ultraviolet radiation from the sun, and electrical discharges. Over time, these molecules interacted and assembled into more complex structures, driven by forces like hydrogen bonding and hydrophobic interactions. Eventually, these complex molecules became enclosed within a membrane-like structure, forming primitive cells. Within these primitive cells, self-replicating molecules such as RNA likely emerged, leading to the inheritance of genetic information and eventually giving rise to life as we know it. The primordial soup theory is supported by several key observations. Firstly, the discovery of organic molecules in meteorites suggests that they were widely available on early Earth. Secondly, the Miller-Urey experiment demonstrated that organic molecules, including amino acids, could be formed under conditions simulating early Earth. Finally, the universality of the genetic code and the biochemistry of life on Earth provides evidence for a common origin. Despite its explanatory power, the primordial soup theory faces several challenges. One major challenge is the difficulty of replicating the formation of complex biomolecules such as proteins and nucleic acids in a laboratory setting. Additionally, scientists still don't fully understand how self-replicating systems and genetic information arose from non-living matter. Finally, the theory does not account for the origin of the first genetic material. While the primordial soup theory is a compelling framework for understanding the origin of life, it's important to recognize its limitations. Further research and discoveries will be needed to fully comprehend the complex processes that gave rise to life on Earth. In summary, the primordial soup theory proposes that life on Earth emerged from a rich broth of organic molecules through a process called abiogenesis. This theory is supported by several lines of evidence, including the presence of organic molecules in meteorites, the results of the Miller-Urey experiment, and the universality of life's biochemistry. However, the theory faces challenges such as the difficulty of replicating the formation of complex biomolecules in a lab setting. While we may never know exactly how life arose from non-living matter, ongoing research and discoveries continue to bring us closer to understanding this fundamental question. The journey to uncover the origins of life is a testament to the power of scientific inquiry and our innate curiosity about our place in the universe. Each new discovery, no matter how small, brings us one step closer to unraveling the mysteries of life's origins. So keep looking up. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about fascinating topics in science, stay tuned by clicking that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the like button because it really helps us out. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them down below. We love hearing from you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.